Hello everyone, Ismail is here. Today we're going to start the lesson 2.3, the remainder and factor theorem. Okay, we are going to learn two things here. The first thing, we are going to learn how we can divide polynomial using long division, okay, and how we can divide the polynomial using synthetic division. Now then, after that, we are going to learn how we can use the remainder and factor theorem to apply the synthetic division. Now, we have here the synthetic division as a vocabulary, the depressed polynomial, and synthetic substitution. Now, let's start our lesson. Okay, first, before we start the lesson, let's just do a small recap about using long division. Now, use long division to divide 277 divided by 12. You learn in grade 5 that the number the small one here it's considered as a divisor. We write it here, and the big number here should be as the dividend, 277. Okay, so if I need to divide this one, first I look to the first two terms. So as I can see, 27. Okay, you can just ask yourself how many 12, okay, inside the 27. If I 12, okay, times 2 is equal 24. So 2, I have 12 twice inside the 27, so I multiply now 2 with the 12. So 2 times 12 is equal 24. Now minus them, so 27 minus 4 is equal 3. Then I take the 7 down, so I have to ask myself again, 37, how many 12 inside my 37? If I say that 2, I have 24. If I say 3, I have 36. So the answer is 3. So now multiply 3 with the 12. So 3 times 12 is equal 36, then over 1. So the answer is 23 and remainder 1 over 12. So this is how can I write the answer using link division and what we learned about in grade 5. Now, we do the same step. Do you see the steps that we did here? We are going to do it with dividing polynomial, okay? So to divide, as you can see here, we have here a polynomial, f of x equals something, okay? And we need to see the factor. So let's say you need to divide all of that by x minus 3, okay? And the answer that I will get, it will be the x minus 3, which is the factor, multiplied with qx, which is the quotient after I divide them. Okay, I hope you understand that. Now, let's see example to make sure that we understand the concept. First, when we need to start dividing, factor 6x cubed minus 20x squared plus 18x plus 9. Okay, before we start dividing, we have a question we need to ask to ourselves. Why? Okay, we do divide. Why we divide polynomial? Okay, I will tell you why. We are doing dividing polynomial to factor the polynomial. Now, if I ask you factor this polynomial, do you know how to factor this polynomial? No, you don't know how to factor this polynomial because there is no common factor. There is nothing that we can be simplified here in this. Okay, so the only thing that I can do in this is doing long division. Doing long division, okay. What is the purpose from long division? Long division is, the purpose from the long division is minus the power by 1. Okay, x n minus 1. Because we know that how we can factor the quadratic, right? We know that the quadratic x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. I know how to factor this to find the zeros. But if the question is ax to the power of 3, ax to the power of 4, ax to the power of 5, okay, all of these, I can't factor them because I don't have a rule. So I have to do long division to, let's say, minimize the power by 1. If I minimize the 5 to 4, okay, I can maybe factor the 4 because it's even. If I can't factor, I can do long division, so I can make it a 3. Okay, then I can doing long division, so it will be x squared, which is a quadratic, then I can factor. Okay, so this is the purpose from doing long division, is to factor the polynomial, make the factoring for the polynomial easy. Now, let's start and apply the long division for this polynomial. Now, after we understand why we're doing long division, which is mean we need to find the factor, okay, now let's divide the the function, this polynomial, completely using x minus 3. So is x minus 3 is a factor? Now let's test this. First thing, we put the dividend, which is the polynomial, okay, under the line of the long division. Then we use the divisor outside let's say divisor outside the long division. Now the first step I have to do, always look to the first term, okay? Always look to the first term of the polynomial, and you look to the first term of the divisor. What you have to do, now you have to divide the dividend over the divisor. Okay, so now every time when you have x to the power of 4, x to the power of 3, so what we do, we just minus the power, x4 minus 3, so the answer is equal x. So always we just minus the power and we get the answer. Now, as you can see here, this is 6x to the power of 3. Okay, 6x to the power of 3 divided by 6, so this is 1. 3 minus 1 is equal 2. So 6x to the power of 2. After I write the answer, I have now to multiply my answer like distributive property. You know how to do distributive property. 6 times x and 6 times 3. Okay, so 6 times x is equal 6x cubed. Then 6x squared times negative 3 is negative 18x squared. Now after that, after I did the multiplication, now I have to do minus. So put minus as outside. Now always first term cancel each other. Now the second term, just look to the constant. So negative 25 minus, okay, write it here, negative 25 minus negative 18, negative 18. And as you can see, I have here negative with negative, so it become what? Positive. So negative 25 plus 18 is equal negative 7, and x squared comes down. Now we do repeat the same step from the beginning that we did. Okay, so what we have to do now, we take the first constant here, which is negative 7, with the first constant in the divisor, then we divide them. So this one is over x. Now x squared over x, we minus only the power, which is equal x. So we write negative 7x. Now we do distributive property again. Negative 7x times 7x is equal negative 7x squared. Then negative 7x times 3 is equal positive 21x. Then after we did the distributive property, now let's minus them. Let's put the negative sign first. Then negative 7 x squared minus negative 7x squared, they cancel each other. Now 18 minus 21, which is equal negative 3. Now we do repeat the same steps. Okay, then which is the last one, we divide the first term, which is negative 3x squared, with the x here. So x, so this one divided by x, so this x cancel x, so it's remain negative 3. So we distribute the property, so we get negative 3x. Then 3 times 3 is equal 9. Then we put the minus. Then we cancel the first term together. Then 9 minus 9 is equal 0. Now after I get the 0, so always when the question, this means when the remainder equals 0, this means the divisor that I divide by the polynomial, this is a factor. Okay, means when I need now to write the answer, so the answer is f of x equal the divisor that I have, x minus 3. Okay, divisor multiplied the quotient. What is the quotient? The quotient is the answer that I wrote here. So now this one is the quotient. Okay, so it should be 6x squared minus 7x minus 3. Now if I ask you to factor this polynomial, now this polynomial is easy because this one is quadratic function. We know that if I need to factor the quadratic, if ax squared plus bx plus c, we know that if a is equal 1, which is the first term 1, so we just directly go to the c, find the factors of c that can be added to get b, then we open the 2 bracket and we factor. But if a is not equal 1, let's say a is equal 6, 5, 4, whatever, so I can't just take the c directly. Now what I have to do, I have to multiply a with c first. So now if I multiply a with c, so I will get x squared minus 7x minus 6 times negative 3 is equal 80. So this one is equal 0. After I equal this one with 0, what I have to do, now we take the factor of c. So the c here is negative 18. Negative 18, the factors of negative 18 that can be added to get negative 7. Okay, I know that, sorry, negative 7. I know that they are negative 9 and 2, because negative 9 times 2 is equal to negative 18, and if you add the negative 9 plus 2 is equal to negative 7. So the answer here, x minus 9 and x plus 2 equal 0. And don't forget to take the x minus 3. So as you can see, these are the factors. But after I find the x's, I have to divide, okay, every one by what? I have to divide it by the number that I multiplied. When I multiply by a, so I have to divide by a, which is 6. So divide 6, divide 6. Now let me write this, x minus 3. Then x negative 9 divide by 6, so the common factor is a 3. So x minus 3 over 2. And this one, 2 divided by 6 is equal 1. Sorry, not equal. Here it should be plus. Okay? So, plus 2 divided 6 is 1 over 3 equal 0. So now the first x is equal to 3. The second x is equal 3 over 2. The third x is equal negative 1 over 3. So those are my zeros, okay, that for dividing the polynomial. See how the link division is more efficient when I need to find the factors. Okay, here I have also some information. Now let's just recap on what we did here. As you can see here, the factors that outside we call it divisor. The polynomial under the long division is called dividend. The answer that I will get is called quotient. Okay, and the number here at the end is called remainder. So if remainder is equal 0, so you know how to solve it. It's similar to this question here. But if the remainder is not 0, so how do I write the answer? The answer, I write it as f of x equal the quotient plus remainder over divisor. This is the way how can I write the answer if the remainder is not equal 0. Now let's go here, some graded practice. Try to solve this question by yourself. Then after that, let's do this. Okay, let's do this 2 example. Now first, let's write the polynomial. The polynomial that I have here, 9x cubed minus x minus 3. Okay, then we do the divisor, 3x plus 2. Now after I wrote the dividend and the divisor, what I have to do now, we do the same step that we did. We take the first term with the first term here in the divisor, which is 3x. Now we divide them by the dividend. So divide 9x cubed, divide by 3x. Now I have 3x's here. Sorry, and we minus the power. So x, it will be x to the power of 2. And 9 divided by 3 is equal 3. So the answer should be 3x to the power of 2. Then we multiply 3x to the power of 2 by 3x, and 3x to the power of 2 multiplied by 2. So the first 3x to the power of 2 times 3x is equal, let me erase this one here. Okay, sorry, let me keep the 9, is equal 9x cubed. Then 3x squared times 2 is equal positive 6x squared. Then we put the minus. Now always first term cancel each other. Now the second term is negative x, and here is positive 6x squared. Okay, so what should I do? As you can see here, always ask yourself, are this one here and this one here like term? Are they like term? No, they are not like term, because it's x. Okay, sorry, because it's x and here is x squared, so they are not like term. I can't add or minus x plus or minus x squared. No, because they are not like term. So what I have to do, if I don't have any like term, so just keep them together. So as you can see, we keep it from the highest power. So here it's negative, okay, 6x squared, so it will be negative 6x squared, and we take negative x down, so negative x goes down. Now let's repeat the same step. So we take the first term here with the first term here, okay, and we divide them by each other. So it will be 3x here. So x squared minus x, or divide by x, is equal x, okay, and 6 divided by 3, negative 6, should be negative 2x. Okay, then we repeat the same step, which is we multiply with distribute property, okay, which negative 2 times 3x is equal, let me erase this, okay, So the answer is negative 6x squared. Then negative 2x times 2 is equal negative 4x. Then we put minus, okay? Always first term cancel each other. Now, negative 1 here, the number in front of x is 1, negative 1, okay? Minus negative 4, so this one has become positive. So negative 1 plus 4 is equal 3x. Now this 3 goes down, okay? Minus 3. Now we do the same thing. We divide the first term by the first term, divide by 3, which is this term here, divide by the first term here. So now 3x divided by 3x is equal, don't forget 3x divided by 3x is equal what? Is equal 1, okay? Because anything divided by itself is equal 1, okay? So now 3x divided by 3x is equal 1. So now we write here, okay, plus 1, sorry. Then we use distributive property as we did. So 1 times 3x is equal 3x, it is this, 3x. Then 1 times 2 is equal positive 2. Now we put the minus, so 3x minus 3x cancel. Now negative 3 minus 2, negative 3 minus 2 is the answer is equal negative 5. So this is the answer. Now after I report the answer, as you can see, I have remainder. This one here is considered the remainder, right? And I have here the quotient. This one is the quotient, and this part here is the divisor. Now when I need to write my answer, the answer will be f of x equal quotient plus remainder over divisor. So the quotient is 3x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus the remainder, which is negative 5 over the divisor 3x plus 2. So now as you can see, is the 3x squared, this term here, is a 3x squared a factor? No, it's not a factor. Why? Because when I used the long division, I got the remainder, so that means this term here is not a divisor. Okay? Now try to solve this. Let's do it together. I think you know the idea of how we're doing the long division, so I will just try to be fast while I'm doing the long division. So the first thing, we write the dividend. The dividend is x squared minus 2x plus 7. And here it's 2x to the power of 4 minus 4x cubed plus 13x squared plus 3x minus 11. I know it will be a long questions, so I will try to make it fast, okay, with you. Okay, first we divide the x squared, so it becomes 2x squared. Then we multiply, so it will be 2x to the power of 4. Then minus 4x cubed. Then 2 times 7 is equal positive 21x squared. Then now we minus. Okay, the first term always cancel each other. Now negative 4 minus 4, so also they cancel each other, because negative 4 minus 4, this one become plus, so it's equal 0. Then 13x squared minus 21. So as you can see, 13 minus 21, which is equal 8x squared. Now, after I did the first, I finished the first term, then I now take this one down, which is plus, okay, let me write in different color. Okay, so 3x goes down, so plus 3x. Now let's repeat the same step. We take the first term, divide by the first term, so the answer is equal positive 8. Now we distribute, so it will be 8x squared, okay, minus 16, because 8 times negative 2, negative 16x. Then 8 plus 7 is equal, 8 times 7 is equal positive 56. As I can see, because I have here a third term, so I can take also the negative 7 next to the numbers, okay? So it will be negative 7 here, because 3 terms, and here is 3 terms, so I take the next term. Now, after I have to do, now that's minus all them. Always the first term cancel each other. Now the second one, 3 minus 16, 3 minus 16, so this one become, this one become positive 16. Okay, so 3 plus 16 is equal 19x. Then we have negative 11 minus 5, so negative 11 minus 5 is equal negative 16, right? So negative 16. Now look to the number here. Okay, as you can see, if I take the first term, which is x squared, and I divide it by the first term here, so 19x divided by x squared, I can see that the denominator has a greater power than the numerator. So when I reach to a step that the denominator has a greater power from the numerator, I stop doing long division. خلاص, this is the final answer. So now my final answer will include the quotient, okay, with the divisor, okay, and the last one with this one is the remainder. So now I need to write the answer. F of x is equal quotient plus remainder over divisor. Now quotient is 2x squared plus 8 plus remainder 19x minus 16 over x squared minus 2x plus 7. So this is my final answer, because the power or the degree for the remainder is less than degree of the divisor, so I have to stop here. Okay, I hope you understand this. I believe that you understand. Now try to solve this question. If you need any help, please text me. Let me just show you the answer for these questions, so while you're solving, you know what's the answer for everyone. Please pause the video before I showed you the answer to try solve it by yourself, then check your answer. Okay, now let's